Hey fam, today we are doing polygel nails once again, and I'm just showing you guys everything that you'll need in this clip. You don't need that specific package. Those have extra dual forms in them. I'm just using the clips out of this specific kit. Y'all don't mind baby boy in the background. I'm feeding and he is very loud. You will also need a UV light so you can cure your nails, because if you don't have UV light, they will not dry. You're also going to need a nail drill with all of the nail bit accessories. If you're a beginner, you don't really need a large collection. You can just stick to the basics. Next we have here is one of the polygel nail kits. I'm only going to be using a specific color. That one is a new tube. The next one I'm going to show you guys from a different kit is going to have like probably less than, honestly I only used one fingernail on it because that's all I had left in that one little tube right there. That one was completely empty. And these babies are the star of the show. I'm going to use these little plastic lips and I'm going to encapsulate them for our little Valentine's Day look today. Next we have a Models 1 kit. I'm going to show y'all everything that came in this specific one. I'll probably link that in the description box just in case you're curious. So right here we have some dual forms. Oh, that first black pack came from a different kit. I just threw it in there because that's the one I was using. We have some glitters. We have some foils. That is top coat. That's some base coat. Some nail primer. You put on the primer before you put on the base coat. We have some rhinestones here. We have some, I'm not quite sure what they're called, but they're like nail stickers. There is a pink polygel. That one is pure white. We have some glow in the dark stickers. We have a nail file. I was struggling to get this open, but they're kind of like, they're not tweezers, but they're like tweezers for nails. So don't try to pluck no hairs with these. This is specifically, oh my god, can I talk, y'all? It's specifically for these kits. They came with 2 sets of dual forms, so that was cool. Yeah, the slip solution, trash garbage, don't use it. It's too oily. Honestly, it doesn't really do much, so I'm going to go with rubbing alcohol. Those right there that you just saw were nail forms. Those were nail forms. That is some clear polygel. We have the I can't remember it's like what this is called. Y'all, I'm brain farting today. It is the brush that you're going to need, and that's the spatula on the other side. My brush is looking a little wonky. I'm going to use a different one next time. This is 70% alcohol. It's preferred if you use like 91% or something, but it'll do the job. That right there is like, I mean, you can use that to dust your nails off. And then you have the little nail clipper thing. Y'all, a straight edge clipper. And we're about to get into the show, so watch and enjoy. So right here, I'm just dumping out the nail forms and fitting them according to each nail. Unfortunately, they're not organized by size. They're kind of just all thrown in the bag. So, you know, it took a little bit more time to look for. Right here, I'm just dipping my brush in alcohol solution. You don't want the brush to be soaking wet because then it'll be too much liquid, and it's already a messy process, but it's just going to make things even more messy because then you're going to have extra liquid left over. So make sure you tap the brush on a paper towel beforehand. And I'm smoothing the polygel into the dual form, what you're going to do is when it's completely smooth, there's no air bubbles on the top, you're going to put it on top of your nail, you're going to fit it in real good, and then you're going to put that under the UV light, and you will continue to do that with the rest of the fingernails, or dual forms. Y'all know what I meant. I will say this, once it starts to feel a little tacky again and it's not as easy to move around, you can always just dip it back in the alcohol solution. But like I said before, make sure that your brush is not soaking wet. It just damp. Damp is fine. Forgot to mention, I cured my nails for 90 seconds each, top and bottom, because the darker the color, the harder it is for the UV light to get all the way through to the polygel. So just make sure if you have a darker color, if it's not clear or white, you'll have to flip it over and do 90 seconds for each side. And from here, all you have to do is just pop it off. I'm not going to file and shape just yet. I'm going to leave that until the end of this video. And I had to open a new tube. It is a different brand, but it is the same color. As you can see, I was only able to do 2 nails with that first tube. So yeah. Right here you see me struggling a little bit. It's because I'm trying to make sure that the dual form is on correctly. It kept lifting for some reason. Sometimes it'll lift and sometimes it'll stay. You don't want to cure it while it's lifting, because then it'll stay that way and then your nails won't last long. I mean, you could always fill it in, but it just feels good to get it right the first time. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to go through all that drama. And I'm cleaning up the underside and the side walls because, again, when you're filing, you want to do as least work as possible. That's the whole point of these dual forms, to do as least work as possible, okay? See, I had to do a little bit of starting over. I didn't start over completely, but when you're a beginner and you don't quite know what you're doing, sometimes you do have to start over, and that does consist of sometimes using a new dual form or cleaning off the dual form that you have and starting completely over. But either way, sometimes it does happen, regardless if you're a beginner or not. There's no way you can get a perfect set, especially when, you know, like I said, you're a beginner. So You know, take your time. If you feel like you need to start over, then start over. Alright, so I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I don't know how to make an apex. If you're a professional, or if you know how to do nails, or if you're familiar with the process, then you should know what an apex is. But I'm not good at that just yet. I'm just a beginner. I'm going to try and break down to you exactly what an apex is. So basically, it's like a hump that you form in the middle of your nail because you don't want your nails to be too thin, because then they'll break. And if your nails break halfway through, that can cause infection. It's very painful, of course, and then you'll have to wait extra long to get your nails done because you can't do your nails on a busted finger. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, apex is very important, but I'm not there just yet. So I just, you know, took off some of the polygel and moved it around to the other side where I needed to fill in, instead of just wiping on the paper towel, which is wasting product. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I decided to improvise because, y'all, I keep telling y'all, I am a beginner, and nobody wants to be wasting a bunch of product and they done spent money on it, okay? It may not have been a lot of money, but I still spend money. Okay, and I'm not about to waste a whole tube to recorrect when I can just put it back. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I cannot express this enough. You have to do your best to work underneath your nail because I haven't perfected that just yet, and if it overflows your finger, then they're going to break off a lot easier, and it's probably not going to cure all the way. It's going to be easier for water to get through, you know, like washing your hands, bathing, and stuff like that. So yeah, you want to make sure that you smooth that bottom out, because if you don't, water's going to leak in and your nails aren't going to last as long. If y'all haven't noticed, I'm working with my opposite hand off camera because this video would have been way too long if I did that, and I'm pretty sure y'all don't want to be watching me doing my nails for an hour plus, and the footage is already sped up. So yeah. So what you see me doing here is I'm trying to fix the nails a little bit. It didn't come out right, so I had to put a little bit of polygel on top and try to fill it in. If y'all can't see, I'm doing a really bad job. That's why I started with dual forms, because I don't know how to shape yet. I don't know how to get it smooth, and I'm doing quite a terrible job, so I'm gonna have to do some filing at the end. But I was just trying to fill in some gaps because we don't want to be running around with nails with gaps. I think that specific nail was see-through, so I was just trying to cover that up a little bit, and I did a pretty bad job. But you know, your girl is learning and she's trying, and practice makes perfect. All right, and now we're going to work on our encapsulating process. So what I used was a thin layer of clear gel, and then I put the lips on the inside, and then I put that in the UV light to cure. And while I did that, I worked on the other fingernail. And then once I was done working on, well, not the fingernail, but the dual form, once I was done with that dual form, I put that one under the UV light, and then I put the white on top of the one that had been cured already. I put that on my fingernail, take the dual form out that's already underneath there, I cure my finger, and then I work the same process over and over. I continue to do the next nail, put the white on top, yada yada yada. Y'all know how the story goes. Another thing I forgot to mention, I can't tell y'all how much polygel to use. I haven't perfected that just yet, but pretty much that's the learning curve here. Like, I can break down everything that you need to do, everything that you have to do, but I cannot tell you how much polygel you need to use, because literally, I mean, even watching other tutorials, they say the same thing. Like, they can't tell you exactly how much to use. It's kind of like trial and error. That's something you have to figure out for yourself. my top of the nail was a little see-through because I didn't have enough white underneath, so I'm trying to fix that. It didn't come out that great because, you know, I'm not good at this part just yet, but, you know, I tried. I did a little something. I did a little something. But yeah, that's what you're gonna do. This is the perfect time to create your apex. Not now, of course, because then you'll cover up the design, but this is when you would try to create your apex. When you're done with your dual form, you would try to put the polygel in the solution on top and work from there to create your apex. I wouldn't suggest you try to do that with the dual form. That might be a little complicated unless you're just that good, but yeah, now would be the perfect opportunity. I should have mentioned that earlier in this video, but here we are. And this is the fun part. We're getting ready to cut down our nails and to file and shape them. So if y'all want to see how I do that, then keep watching. And now we're starting to do our filing process. So pretty much I'm just trying to clean up any bumps, you know, make sure that the bottoms are as flat as not as flat as possible, but you want to make sure that it isn't lumpy underneath or on top. And you don't necessarily have to do it on a smooth surface, but I do it just to knock off the shine so the top coat can adhere better. And yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. This will probably be the last y'all hear from me besides the outro, but you know, if I have a little something to say in between then I will. But pretty much, you know, this is it. I'm going to go into filing, and you know, I will come back and tell y'all how I filed to get a coffin shape. Now, the end result wasn't that great, but pretty much when we get there, I'll let y'all know what the deal is. I'll let y'all know what's up. For beginners, I should have showed y'all by using my nail file, because I'm not that great at using my nail file either. But you know, I'm just trying to work through the motions. I'm trying to learn so that one day I can move on to acrylics. But that's neither here nor there. If you're a beginner, definitely start with your nail file and not with the drill, because you'll either take too much off or you won't take off enough. And I made that mistake here in this video. I know my last set came out wonderful, but this one, your girl was working overtime. She was tired, so things didn't turn out the way I wanted them to. But yeah, just a quick tip for y'all. Alright, so what y'all see me doing here is filing around the cuticle, because for some reason I always get flooding, and I'm trying to create just a little bit of an apex, but yeah, for the most part I'm just trying to clean up my cuticles, and I didn't do that great of a job, but you know, practice makes perfect, trial and error, all that good stuff.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up.
Alright, I'm done and I'm moving on to filing, so I am brushing all the residue off of my nails. Now, I'm trying to go for a coffin look, so what you need to do is you need to file at an angle. If you don't want a straight look, whatever shape that you want, you're going to end up filing at some type of angle.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning.
So to make sure that you like your shape and that your nails are even, you're going to want to do a comparison between the fingers. As y'all saw, I kept going back because I couldn't perfect my shaping. I don't know, y'all. I was just really tired. I was exhausted. I worked many I'm embarrassed to say, but let's just say I worked a long time on these and your sis was getting tired. So, you know, I didn't want to do too much. I was like, all right, I'm going to file and I was going to be over with it. If it doesn't look perfect, it don't look perfect. Because what ended up happening is if you over file, you're going to end up showing some of your sidewall, and you don't want to do that. And you don't want to have to keep going back in to put polygel back on top because you took off too much sidewall. I'm telling y'all, okay? You don't want to do that. Do not overfile. If you feel like, you know, you're not getting it, just stop, leave it there, leave it as is. From far away, it'll look nice, okay? That's all that matters. And here's a perfect example. If you can see my ring finger, not the finger with the ring on it, but my actual ring finger next to the pinky, I filed down too much and my sidewall was showing. And at that point, I was like, look, I don't feel like going back and doing this process all over again, so I'm just gonna leave it. So please, if you notice that you file off too much, don't try to fix it. Just leave it. I mean, unless if you're a professional and you know what you're doing, but I don't, so I just left it there. All that mattered to me was that from far away it looked cute. So, you know, trial and error, it'll all work itself out. Here I ended up cutting down a little bit more because my nails, the ones with the white, they were a little bit too long. And I'm not going to say I'm not sure why. I know why, because I didn't measure it right, but yeah, they were a little too long, so I had to do some cutting, and then I had to try and reshape them. Make sure you get underneath too, because even if they do look nice on top, you want to make sure that the bottoms are nice and uniform. You don't want it to look bulky or lumpy because that's not cute. Yeah, another reason why I probably couldn't file my nails the way I wanted to was because my nail beds were hurting. If y'all saw it in my last video, I used the sanding band to dust the shine off my nails. And that was a bad idea because my fingers were hurting. So I couldn't file the way I wanted to because, yeah, my fingers, they were just, you know what I'm saying? It felt like they got slammed inside of a car door. Let's just say that. Right here, I'm using the nail file to try and clean up the cuticle a little bit more because I didn't get in good enough with the nail drill. So I decided to go in with my file to see if I can fix it a little bit more. Okay, so I can say this, because there's so much flooding at the cuticle, you can wait a couple of days to file that down. Because it's fresh, it's like really stuck to your nail. So after like a day or maybe 3, you can start working on cleaning your cuticle up again just to make them last longer. Because, you know, the flooding of the cuticle means that it's going to lift, which means water is going to get in and your nails are not going to last very long. As a matter of fact, as I'm recording this video, one of my nails popped off like 3 days later. So please make sure that you get those cuticles together. And what you see here is I'm done filing and shaping, and I'm just putting on the top coat, and I'm going to put that under the UV light for maybe about 30 to 60 seconds. And this is our final look. These are our Valentine's Day nails, guys. They're not perfect, but it's something. It's better than nothing. It's better than my naked nails, okay? My short little stubby fingers. Anyways, we're going to make a close. I would like to say welcome to our new family members. Thank you for subscribing. I love everyone and all the support that you have given me thus far. I wish everyone peace, love, happiness, positivity, all that good stuff. And I will check out in the next video. Bye.